Don't know me, my name's Anastasia, and I'm so excited to share with you guys everything I've been doing for 18 weeks. I've devoted so much time to this, and what I've been doing, my final project ended up being a research about the relationship between the consumer and the producer. It says up there, who wears the pants? It's silly, but I really wanted to know who has the power, because my research started about advertising and the advertising business. And when I started the research, it made me a little angry, I guess, throughout the process, how much advertising impacts our life and how intrusive it is. So if you think about your daily life, you can't sit down and watch a television show without it being interrupted by commercials. You can't watch you can't listen to your favorite radio station without commercials. When you drive to work every day, you see billboards all over every highway. Everything's branded, everything has a logo. So advertising has penetrated our lives in such a way that it's seamlessly integrated. And I think that should be worrying, but not too many people think about it that way. People kind of accept that it's there. And as much as we may not like our television show being interrupted, the 30 minutes that we sit down to watch a sitcom maybe would be 10 minutes of that would be commercials. So you're wasting so much time, and nobody likes commercials. Nobody likes to listen to them. Everyone just wants to skip to the content. But even besides that, by the age of 18, the average person has seen 350,000 television commercials alone. That's not including advertising like billboards. It's not including the logos, everything that we see every day. And so the reason I felt so passionately that advertising should not have such a major role in our lives is because advertising has a lot of negative effects also. The first thing, we've all seen advertising that lies. Advertising is not always truthful. So we've all seen, well, these are all examples of things that are branded. We've all seen advertisements for Burger King. You don't have to admit to it, but you've probably all eaten one, and they don't look like that. What else? You've seen commercials. That does not happen either. They claim they have products that will make you look just like that. It just doesn't happen. These things, they advertise that if you wear them, you won't, you'll have better balance, and so they kind of push people in the commercial and they don't fall, and it's like, whoa. I've taken one apart, and what's inside of those is a little piece of shiny plastic. There's no anti-gravity thing or anti-fall. There's nothing in there that really protects you from falling. So advertising blatantly lies, and everyone's come in contact with it. And not only that, but advertising has actually been, has had negative effects on our society. For one, children are being targeted constantly in the media. That has negative effects for multiple reasons. Because children are so gullible and they're easy, they don't understand when things actually need to be bought and what things are quality products or not. They go to their parents after seeing all these images of happy children with colorful toys and colorful clothing and happy music. They see these images and they go to their parents and say, "Mommy, Daddy, buy me things." The recent American budget has been shrinking, and so parents can't afford it. Oftentimes, parents can't afford to buy them all the things that the child wants. So the relationship between the parent and the child becomes very strained. The child becomes very thing-oriented. G.I. Joe or a toy car or toy truck or a Barbie would become so much more important to them than a family camping trip. And so when they ask constantly their parents to buy them things, the parents either need to stretch their budget to include all of these things, or they need to constantly say no to their child. No, you can't have this. No, you can't have that. And when a child doesn't always realize the need for there to be a no, so their image of the parent becomes less favorable. Those are Pillow Pets, the advertisement of Pillow Pets. A marketing student will learn about the halo effect. Sorry, I think I skipped something. Oh, sorry. I'll talk about that in a minute. But the other negative impact of advertising is the fact that they put beautiful women, they advertise everything with beautiful women from makeup to food, things that have nothing to do with beauty. They put women that are above average looking. And not only that, they edit them. They edit their looks. They put a lot of makeup on them. They make them look much better than the average woman. And these things aren't realistic, but when they're portrayed so much in advertising, in any sort of media, it becomes the standard. It becomes like a need to look like these women, to be beautiful. And so I wanted to show you a quick video. This is from the Dove Evolution campaign. One second. Okay. So this is an average-looking woman. It's her transformation of how she gets up onto a billboard for an advertisement. So Dove came out with this campaign to show women that these other women that are advertising things, that's not what they look like. That's not what real people look like. So they're trying to, I guess, lower, I wouldn't say lower the bar for beauty, but they're trying to make women feel better about themselves, that women do look good if they don't look like the people on the advertising. And many sources have credited advertising and the media with the rising of bulimia and anorexia. So that's so another way that marketing, advertising is really unethical is this is actually something I learned while going through a college textbook. I wanted to know what a marketing student will learn in their studies, because these are the people that are going to be opening the businesses and selling us the products and advertising to us. So I wanted to know how they learned to go about that. And so I read one of their textbooks. It was Standard, McGraw-Hill. It's the same company that makes our textbooks. And they'll learn about ethics. There's a chapter on ethics, and the thing that's in there is the halo effect. The halo effect, it sounds nice, but what it really says, it's telling marketing students to appear ethical, to appear charitable, to donate to charities in order to entice the consumer to buy things from them. When I flipped through the rest of the ethics chapter, there wasn't anything in there that said to use your own ethics and morals and values and incorporate them into your business. It was all about profit. It was all about, these are the things you need to do to look good so that you make more money. And with that, I just wanted to reiterate that companies, they're driving so much of our profit. They're telling us you should buy this and this product is great, and they're inside our lives so much, but they're not necessarily trustworthy. Okay. So in that, after I was doing all this research, I wanted to know, how can we change it? How can the need for advertising not be there anymore? How can we improve products? How can the consumer have more say in what we buy and how we're advertised to? And I looked for the answer for a long time. I came up with some of my own ideas, and finally I got to meet a man who runs a company. It's a branding company, and it's fairly successful because it's so innovative in the way it defines consumers. And so his name's Raphael, and he taught me a lot. He taught me about the new consumer, and this is really what I've been looking for the entire time. It made my whole project. And so I just there's the old consumer on the right and the new consumer on the left. The old consumer, they look for the lowest price as opposed to the total value. What we need to be looking for is a total value in a product, and this includes quantity as well as quality, as well as price, as well as where that money goes, as well as who gets the benefits. Instead of waiting for solutions, the new consumer is creating their own solutions. If they don't like a product, they're not just going to wait and sit around, oh, maybe someone will create a better product. They're thinking, this would make a better product. And they're writing to companies and saying, this is what I want to see, this is what I would buy. Or they're creating the products themselves, really. And the third one is instead of asking what's in it for me, they ask what's in it for everybody. And this symbolizes a socially conscious consumer. So they buy things with everybody in mind. So for example, if you guys know the shoe company Tom's, they've recently been getting popular, and what they do is for every pair of shoes that's bought, they donate a pair of shoes to a child in Africa. And so this company can only exist with the help of the new consumer, because the shoe, if you really get down to quality versus price, the shoe won't last for more than a year, and because they try to use some of that money that they would spend on the quality to be able to give those shoes to the children in Africa. They cost about $50 and they'll last for about a year. You could get something better for those $50, but the new consumer, they'll go and they'll spend a little bit of extra money, but knowing that something else good is going to come out of it. They're seeking meaningful experiences instead of more stuff, meaning they would rather see quality versus quantity. They would rather have one good experience with a product than get a lot of products and not have a good experience with them at all. And we used to trust marketing messages on the front of the box, but through all of those experiences of advertising lies, through all of those fake burgers that we saw and fake wrinkle commercials, we now look at the ingredients on the back of the box. That applies to everything. That fact-checking that we need to be doing, that applies to everything, but most importantly applies to food, because the only thing that is government-controlled is the ingredients label on the back. On the front, they can really say whatever it is that they want to say. And the last one is what I really want to talk about. Instead of being a passive recipient of brand communications, they're active co-creators. That means they go out there and they make their opinion known, and they know how to get the products that they want out there. And so through all my research, I really wanted to encourage people to become these new consumers. And not everybody has the extra money to spend on Whole Foods chicken versus Shaw's chicken. It would be ideal, because if more people contributed money to the Whole Foods chicken, it would be more available. It would become eventually lower in price because they would have more profit coming in. Therefore, they would be able to lower the price. Not everybody can do that, but everybody can contribute to the public relations aspect of marketing. And there's a difference. I'm going to talk about it before I talk about what it is. It's when I took a little lecture at Simmons, and they told me that there's a difference in marketing between public relations and advertising. Advertising is everything I've been talking about. It can't be edited because it's paid for. Whoever pays for it says anything that they want. So it's not that reliable. And if you see advertising, there's never anything negative about their product. They don't compare themselves to other products saying, oh, but they're better at this. We're better at something else. They don't say that. You only hear the positive aspects. So as opposed to public relations, public relations is it's free. It comes in forms of consumer reports and word of mouth, really. It's free, and it comes with positive and negative reviews, so it's much more reliable to listen to. And so how we can contribute as emerging new consumers, I hope, how we can contribute to that is go on to sites like Yelp and CitySearch and start blogging, start commenting about the quality of products and our experiences that we've had with them, so that other people can really have an honest view of that product. Because an advertisement won't tell you anything negative about a product. It won't tell you to buy a different one. But if you go on CitySearch, Yelp, even Facebook, if you ask for your friends about reviews, that's so much more reliable because it comes from actual experiences as opposed to just blatant buy me, buy me, buy me advertising. So my project came down to this, that I really encourage everybody to be a new consumer, and it's such a great way to help get the products that we want out there on the market. Because the more we know what we buy, the more research we do, the more we look for quality products, the more they will be available. Because companies see feedback in the form of profit. The less profit they make, the more they know that we need to change. The more profit they're making, the more they know we can keep doing what we're doing. We can keep selling what we're selling. And so that's briefly what I've done in 18 weeks, and it's been a journey. And I really just wanted to talk about SYP in general, because I feel like it's changed me personally. This topic was so foreign to me. I did not know anything about advertising, nothing about the consumer. So I started from zero. I had to build up research. I had to build up some sort of organization system. I had to make deadlines for myself. And I like to compare it to like that last sprint of the marathon, because it's honestly been the most difficult for me, most difficult journey in like my entire school career, but it's also been the most rewarding to stand up here and talk about a fairly complex topic and be able to explain it to somebody and have opinions and say things that matter about something. It feels so rewarding. And so I wish everybody, I guess, would do SYP and take on the challenge, because it's been a challenge. Some people are great at research. Some people are great at writing, nice, organized papers. I don't fall into that category, unfortunately. So this whole process has been such a struggle for me. I've had to learn how to organize myself and write with commas and periods in the right place, and it's been good. And I feel like I'm going to be successful in the future. So if I got anything from it besides all the information and all the wonderful things I've learned and the information about being a new consumer myself, I've just learned how to be proud of my work and push myself and push the limits around me. Because there's so many more obstacles than I put myself. There's people telling me I can't do something. There's disadvantages that I may have, but I've learned that those aren't concrete, that I can always push them. So I've had a wonderful SYP experience. You guys feel free to ask me questions. Okay.
In your abstract, you
Yes.
mentioned you're going to design a line of clothing. Is this after are you going to go to college?
Yeah, I plan on doing it while I'm in college.
Design school are you going to, or regular college?
No, I'm going to regular college. I'm going to Simmons College actually in the fall. I'm very excited. But I have done work on it. This has occupied the majority of my time, which I'm okay with. But what I'm working on is creating a line of clothing that inspires a lot of self-expression. We decided as a team, I have 2 other people working with me that I've recruited, and we decided that it's going to be targeted at people from ages 12 to 25, so basically the youth. And we want to create clothing that people can go to and say, oh, this is me, this is something that describes me. and they can wear it proudly. And
How do you think you apply your new consumer marketing skills towards it?
well, I plan on being ethical. One of the first things that we were talking about was where to get our supplies, how to get materials, and it comes down to little choices. When we were deciding between one wholesale t-shirt company that provided really inexpensive t-shirts, but after we did some research on the material, we knew it wouldn't last long. So we went for better, slightly more expensive shirts, but we knew that it would provide a quality product. So I just believe that that consumers deserve quality, and that quality will eventually pay off. Yes.
Stasia, how do you think you educate people to become new consumers? I mean, would you say that most consumers now are new consumers or not? And if not, how do you educate them to become new consumers?
I would say not yet. I think everyone's in one phase or another with my new consumer slide over here. But I don't think everyone's there yet. I don't think everyone's fully conscious of the fact that where you put your money really makes a difference, that there are consequences to who you donate your money to. Educating me personally, if I go on to lecture and to do more research about this, I think that's the best way to educate. Just to lecture. I don't see, again, positive commercials, you know? I guess I would have to go with actual commercials since they're going to be out there. I could put out commercials that would actually be useful. That would be useful in telling consumers that this is the best way to buy. Me personally, I would just be a new consumer and all the people around me, because word of mouth spreads a lot faster than people think. So if I'm doing something positive and someone's shopping next to me and I'm picking a product that's better than, that I think is better than the one next to it, someone sees me doing that. And then, you know, if they're friends, I explain why. It's a chain reaction. The more people that start being new consumers, the more people they recruit into it.
What are some of the obstacles from being an old consumer to a new consumer?
Money, of course. It's very difficult. There's even one on there that says, well, lowest price, total value. Not everyone can afford something that's that has, you know, a lot of value, but it's expensive. Like that Whole Foods chicken, not everyone can afford it. So that's why I believe that if people contribute to public relations like Yelp and City Search and Facebook, the more people talk about products and really acknowledge their value at least, the more progress there will be. And eventually prices will go down. Yeah.
This isn't a question, but it's, you just made me think of something. I saw a special on
Love it.
Panera,
Uh-huh.
the Panera food.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what city it's in, but there's no prices.
Uh-huh.
In this one, it's an experiment they're doing. And so when you go in, you decide what you should pay. And part of the idea is it's
Awesome.
not in an area where there are a lot of wealthy people, but there are a number of folks who have money who are coming in from suburbs
Mhm.
and going to this Panera, so they can decide to pay $7, and the next person behind me could choose to pay a penny.
That's great.
And the idea is sort of, if I have the sense that I am more well off, I may choose to pay more so that somebody else who wants to come and eat there and doesn't have as much money can still get something to eat. It's just an interesting idea.
Right.
I don't know how it really fits in with this, but it just made me
No, it really does, and it's also a good way to measure quality. The more money people are willing to pay for something, the more they're letting the store know that this is a quality product. I'm willing to pay more money for it than I would somewhere else. That's an awesome thing.
It's an,
I'm sorry.
I was going to say that's an interesting idea for a food chain. I saw that at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York last year. Same thing. I asked if there was a teacher discount, and they said we don't have an entrance fee. You pay what you want to pay. So I wonder if it's just becoming more prevalent.
I wonder if people pay more because they feel guilty. You mentioned that a new consumer, if the product's not out there, they will go and create it. and I know, like, you've heard of Spanx. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
But the girls know about Spanx.
Just prom season.
She actually started in her home at $5,000, and she could not find a manufacturer to manufacture her idea. And she's decided to start. Now she's like a billionaire from that company. So there's a consumer who was looking for a certain item.
Right.
She didn't want feet on her pantyhose, and she wanted something to hold you in. So she went out and she designed it, and then she went from manufacturer to manufacturer. Actually went and talked to people to try to get someone to manufacture it the way she wants.
Yeah. It's a process too. That's why not so many people do it, because it is a hassle. It's like the more people are willing to take that step further, the more people are willing to spend time researching the product they're buying before they buy it, the better results they'll have. So everything good in the world takes time and effort.
Clothing line, you may have to find a manufacturer to do it to your
I'm sure.
specific.
We're gonna try to make them themselves. Actually, I have a picture of that is a printing press, and that's what you use for a t-shirt. I'm gonna start out with t-shirts first, just because I need to get a handle of how to sell, who to sell to, what kinds of things to sell, because I'm a novice. I don't know anything yet. So first we're gonna start t-shirts, and that's a machine. You put the t-shirt under. It comes in the form of a sticker. You have to draw the design, send it to a company that prints it for you, and you put it on and you press it. And it leaves it on there with heat. So that's the machine we're looking to buy soon.
It's good to start small.
Yeah? Yes.
So you said you started from scratch. So first part, how did you decide to do this topic? And then second, where did you find you got most of your research, or where did you find that was most resourceful for consumerism, or what you needed to learn?
When I started from scratch, I had the idea of starting my company, and I was really excited about it at the time. And so when I found my two friends that are going to be doing it with me, we decided to divide up the roles. And so I was going to take care of the advertising and the marketing part of it, and I was going to figure out how to get our product out there. Another one of my friends was going to take care of the money and the business part of it, and another one was just going to do research for us and bring us options. Which printing press to buy, which wholesale company to buy t-shirts from. So that's how I kind of decided on advertising in general, and then advertising took me to the new consumer. I was too interested to keep on with the
So did you find like journal articles or websites, or how did you like those statistics, or all this information?
Yeah, I went to the library, and I took out like 35 books. I carried them in one big stack, and the librarian looked at me funny, but flipping through all these books, I found one that really gave me, first I started with a book that gave me the basics. It was called Modern Day Advertising. And it just gave me the basics. It gave me how many people are in a marketing department, what their jobs are, how they advertise where, why. And so that's where I started, and then I built off on top of that. I found the statistics that I said about the children. They're not statistics, but the facts that I said about the children, I read in an article that was actually in Russian. It helps to be multilingual, but so I had a lot of good sources. Yeah.
Has this turned you off to advertising and PR for your future, or onto it?
I don't think that's my personal future, because I was never interested in doing this for a living, but it's just turned me off of advertising in general. I don't look at it anymore. I don't know, I guess I kind of have an instinct to leave and do something more productive while the commercials are on, because I just don't believe in their authenticity anymore. Cool. Yes. Anyone else?